Welcome to the weekly discussion to sort out the NFL AFC playoff picture, now heading into Week 11. As usual, the Playoff Computer app is used to provide the base of this analysis. If you are a fantasy football addict and want all sorts of geeky data for your playoff races, including the semi-famous paths to clinch, check it out on the Play Store. And fair warning, this is a mathematical analysis with no bias for or against any teams. Only actual results, tiebreaker records, and the nuances of remaining schedules are used to tell us where things stand. With that being said, the team in the AFC with the highest statistical chance to make the playoffs is still
We're number one. We're number one. We're number
the
one.
Kansas City Magicians, able to wriggle out of any loss by any means necessary. Now 9-0 after literally blocking the Broncos' attempts at taking them down a notch. With the computer saying that 9 wins is likely safe for an AFC wildcard, it doesn't take advanced calculus to deduce that the Chiefs, having said 9 wins, are the first team in the NFL this season to be given the valuable playoff computer checkmark to be realistically in the playoffs, even if they have not mathematically clinched such. The only whiff of anything resembling drama will be whether the Chargers can make a race out of the division, but right now they are 3 games back. With the Chiefs already having a win over the Chargers earlier, their odds to take the division are about 9 out of 10. And for what it's worth, while they are all but assured of going to the playoffs, they cannot officially clinch a spot this week. As a matter of fact, there is still a lottery ticket theoretical possible scenario somewhere that they could miss the playoffs with 11 wins. They travel to Buffalo for another test of their invincibility this week. Speaking of, those Buffalo Bills are also enjoying life right now after winning their 5th in a row. A victory over the Colts gives them an 8-2 record. With nobody in the AFC East challenging them, their win target to take the division equals what is likely needed for a wild card. 9 being a safe mark, but 8 wins not being far-fetched. That means they should just need one more win. And while they have a bit of a tough stretch upcoming, they finish with Patriots, Jets, Patriots. Unlike the Chiefs, it is bordering on the impossible that the Bills could make the playoffs as anything other than the division winner. Their playoff odds are 99%, and all but 2 of that is to win the division. The possible battle for seeding this week with the Chiefs ahead of their bye. The Pittsburgh Steelers moved up to number 3 in the playoff odds leaderboard with their win over the Commanders. That keeps them just ahead of the Ravens for the AFC North lead, and now a 94% chance to make the playoffs and 55% to win the division. They finally will start division battles this week with a game against the Ravens for first place. As of now, with a 7-2 record, their head-to-head results against others in the AFC aren't all that relevant. But if they falter a bit down the stretch, they do have wins against the Broncos and Chargers that might prove useful. Should just need 2 more wins to get at least a wild card. Not a pushover schedule the rest of the way. The 2 games against the Browns being the only ones that appear easy on paper. The Baltimore Ravens stayed on the Steelers' rear bumper and moved up one as well after their thrilling Thursday night victory over the Bengals. That all but means one of these 2 will win the division. Ravens playoff odds sit at 93% with division odds at 43%. Another team that should just need 2 more wins. Do have the Giants and 1 more with the Browns on their plate to help get there. But other than that, as with the Steelers, not the easiest remaining schedule. 5 of their remaining opponents currently above 500. Next 3 are the game with the Steelers and then followed by Chargers and Eagles before their bye. The Strouds fell 2 spots to number 5 with the up and down affair against the Lions. That brings them back down to earth at 6-4. Fortunately for them, everyone else in the AFC South lost as well, and only the Colts are within distant sight. And with the NFC so far holding a healthy lead over the AFC in interdivision matches, the bar to clear in the AFC is a bit lowered. As mentioned, 9 wins is looking pretty safe for a wild card, and it's still looking like a safe mark for the Texans to take the division. So they should just need 3 more wins. By coincidence, their next 3 before their bye are against the 3-win Cowboys, the 2-win Titans, and the 2-win Jaguars. Problem solved. And another team that is very unlikely that they could falter enough to not win their division but still be good enough for a wild card. Currently 87% to make the playoffs, with 84 of that being as division winner. The Los Angeles Chargers continue to be the team flying under the radar who is now a 85% chance to make the playoffs. 6-3 after taking care of the Titans. Still somewhat in the AFC West division picture with a 1-in-10 mathematical chance, but unless the Chiefs cross a black cat, they should probably stick to wildcard thoughts. 3 more wins should do it. Got a bit of a tough stretch coming up though. Bengals, Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs, and really even after that, the Buccaneers and Broncos aren't going to lie down for them. So they do need to keep the accelerator pedal smashed. Currently not too much to grasp as far as head-to-head tiebreakers. They have a loss against the Steelers that might come into play if the Steelers don't take the AFC North. This week against the Bengals would be an opportunity to keep another AFC team from encroaching into the wildcard race. The Denver Broncos stayed pat at number 7 despite not being able to finish against the Chiefs. And even 5-5 equates to about 50-50 chances to make the playoffs. Now, realistically, out of the AFC West race, unless both the Chiefs and Chargers quit football. So that does give us a reason to take a closer look at their wildcard tiebreaker positioning. They have head-to-head losses against whichever one of the AFC North teams doesn't win the division. Also have a loss against the Chargers, meaning they can't win the head-to-head tiebreaker against them. And they currently have a worse division and conference record compared to the Chargers. So some possible issues to keep in the back of their mind. Looking at needing to go 4-3 the rest of the way to get to the projected 9 wins for a wild card. They have 2 helpful games upcoming against the Raiders and Browns. But other than that, it is not going to be easy. Falcons this week. 2 against teams trying to be in the wildcard race in the Colts and Bengals, along with remaining games against their division stablemates Chargers and Chiefs. The Colts managed to gain a spot despite losing to the Bills, moving up to number 8, which is of course on the outside looking in. Slim hopes remain for taking the AFC South, 8%. About 1-4 to make the playoffs. We'll likely need to finish 5-2. Helpful is that they have 5 remaining opponents currently below 500. The Jets this week being one of them. Also finished the season with Titans, Giants, and Jaguars as part of having the easiest remaining schedule on paper. So if they can hover around 500, they will be well positioned. Looking at possible wildcard tiebreaker scenarios, their head-to-head results so far aren't looking too likely to matter. They are going to need to make getting more wins job number one. The Bengals are back in a self-dug hole they need to claw out of after wasting an aerial bombardment. 4-6 with a 2-4 conference record gives them 22% mathematical odds. Pretty close to a must-win situation against the Chargers this week before their bye. With both the Steelers and Ravens at 7 wins, they are realistically out of the division race without a major shakeup. The state of the AFC right now can be summed up in that the 3-6 Miami Dolphins are nowhere near the bottom of this list. Surprised the Rams to lead the long list of teams in the conference that aren't anywhere near being in it, but also aren't really out of it either. 14% for the Dolphins to make the playoffs. Raiders and Patriots upcoming to maybe get to 5-6 and be relevant. And another for what it's worth. All teams from here on out, including the Dolphins, do not control their own destiny, as in there are possible scenarios in which they could win out and don't make the playoffs. The Tennessee Titans lost to the Chargers to see their playoff odds drop to 8%. At 2-7, they likely need to finish 7-1 to make the playoffs. Vikings, Texans, and Commanders for the next 3, so yeah. The New York Jets returned to dysfunction with a beatdown by the Cardinals. 7% chance, but only one remaining opponent are currently above 500, so stranger things have happened. The New England Patriots decided to not quite exit the stage yet with a dominating win over the Bears. 7% chance, though, not an easy rest of schedule either. The Cleveland Browns managed to not lose last week to an opponent named Bye. Remain 2-7, 5% mathematical chance. Play the Saints this week to keep hope alive. The Las Vegas Raiders were on bye as well and also remain at 2-7. Realistically, out of the AFC West division race, 4% chance to make the playoffs, which would likely require them to go 7-1 the rest of the way. Don't see it happening. The Jacksonville Jaguars bring up the rear after losing to the Vikings. 2-8 would likely need to win out to make the playoffs. Lions this week to start that miracle run. That is the AFC picture for now. Until next time, enjoy your day.